The Senate passed the same-sex interracial marriage bill. Here's what we've learned on this one. Bipartisan votes pushed this measure over the top in the Senate. And that happened yesterday. The bill spares hundreds of thousands of same-sex couples who married since the Supreme Court's 2015 decision that legalized gay marriage. President Joe Biden said he will sign the bill promptly and proudly if it is passed by the House. The bill requires states to protect all marriages that were legal, even if the court's 2015 decision is overturned. Since the Supreme Court's June decision that overturned the federal right to an abortion, a ruling that included a concurring opinion from, you guessed it, Justice Clarence Thomas, that suggested same-sex marriages could also come under threat. Bipartisan Senate negotiations got a kickstart this summer when 47 Republicans unexpectedly voted for a House bill and gave supporters new optimism. 47 Democrats, 2 independents, 12 Republicans voted in favor of the legislation, which enshrines the right to gay and interracial marriage into law. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called the bill part of the country's difficult but inexorable march towards greater equality. With conservative Justice Amy Coney Barrett replacing Ginsburg, the court has now overturned Roe v. Wade and the federal right to an abortion, stoking fears about the other decision, other rights protected by the court. But sentiment has shifted on same-sex marriage, with more than 2/3 of the public now in support. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell led 36 Republican senators against the bill. Mitch McConnell, facing a re-election runoff, Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia did not vote. Got to talk about that. What do you make of that? And so let's start there, okay? Let's start with Senator Raphael Warnock, who's ahead in the polls, running against the running back, Herschel Walker. What do you make of him abstaining, I guess? He's on the campaign trail.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to hear why he abstained for something like this. With the runoff starting, what was it, this past Monday? It would be great to see his name as a part of this to show the positivity and the agreement from a good portion of America who wants to see this happen. His name should have definitely been on it. But Mitch McConnell, oh my word.
Yeah, brother, come on.
Man, come on. Look, okay, all right. So to the senators who said no and who the House of Representatives who will say no, I wanna know why from them as well, because this bill is like 6 pages long. And typically when they say no to something that the vast majority of the public agrees with, they'll say something like, oh, there was something else in the bill that I did not agree with. That's not gonna swing this time. There's nothing else in there. So they might say something like, well, it was for the sake of states' rights. And me and my blackness, I get a little nervous when I hear states' rights, but I'm looking forward to see if that's gonna be the cause of it, because even if you wanted states' rights to be able to decide on something like this,
yeah,
why? Like, do you want the potential to say no, or do you want the potential to turn it down or ban it? Just agree with this and move on. And I shouldn't say that, but this is marriage rights. This is the right for people to certify their marriage in this state, okay? This is for everybody, and most people agree with it, and they know most people agree with it. So they'll either say there was something else in the bill or it was for states' rights or something like that. I'm almost sure.
Well, Mitch McConnell's a man of few words. He's also in an interracial marriage, though I know some want to change the definition. He's married to an Asian woman. Do you think, and Lindsey Graham too, okay, he's not married. It's an interracial and gay marriage protection bill. And I don't make any, who knows? I'm just wondering why certain people would vote against this when there's so many other things to do. Do you think though, because again, bipartisan support for this measure, Republicans understand that they're not winning this moral authority thing.
No,
it's costing them at the ballot box, yes?
Yes, yeah, they're not gonna win this. And even with all that said, I'm wondering as you were talking, I'm like, oh, maybe they're just trying to shut down any positivity that can come out of the Biden administration, for sure. Shut it down and let's like not even talk about it or bring it up anymore, because it's part of Biden's administration, and so we don't need any positivity from that. So yeah. I don't know. It does surprise me though. Back to Warnock.
It does surprise me. I understand that this runoff's only a couple days away, and Herschel Walker is moonwalking. Every time he opens his mouth, he moonwalks further away from victory, which is fun and it's interesting and it's troubling. It's all of these things. It's a cocktail of disturbance, this Herschel Walker. But you have to think with so many, it really is a cocktail of disturbance. I think it is. That would be a wonderful drink if you were having hell night. But you have to wonder with so many people now saying we are moving past the, getting on the bandwagon of hate and we want people to not be together and all this stuff. They kind of moved on. They may not be in full support, but they moved on. The majority of Americans. Why Senator Warnock is being that careful? I know what's in rural parts of Georgia, but even here, sometimes, we do okay. All shucks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, before we continue, I will never forgive Georgians. And look, every black person has a relative or close friend in Georgia, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But if this man gets elected to the Senate on y'all's watch, I don't know what I'm going to do. But with all that being said, yeah, Warnock's name should have been on this bill. It would have been great to see that and for him to be a part of such positivity.
It is remarkable though, because I do believe and I predict he will win this race and get a full term. But it's remarkable when you're running against someone who is really the star of the campaign. Herschel Walker has been, for better or for worse, the star of this campaign. He's making headlines left and right, and we're going to have more on him throughout the show. But every day is another headline, like I said. And I really want to know about that zombie movie he was watching late night. Now I'm very interested in it. I really want to know what movie was Herschel. You didn't see the commercial. What movie was he watching that he's describing? Now I have to see it.
That must have been a fever dream or something. I don't know.
It could have been touch of the COVID.